Okay, so essentially what this project was that I was initially looking around at like cognitive skills, and I was kind of like sometimes playing uh cognitive games and such shit like that, such as like Sudoku and stuff like that. I was just playing around with it, and I kind of thought that like since most of these types of brain training type of games never have actually been researched before, because there's no actual data that's actually been backed up to show that these have been exactly helpful. I thought it'd be a fun project to basically make a game for it. Um, and there's just a lot that I found out about the fact that there's multiple different types of cognitive skills, such as like attention skills, memory skills, logic, reasoning, like problem solving, and then like your processing skills and like how fast you process certain things. Um, and so design wise, when it came to making the game, um, me and Dr. Zhu, we basically just focused on the two easiest ones at the moment, which is attention and memory. Um, and basically, the whole process of the game was we used a Unity because I was kind of the most familiar with it in this case. Granted that I'm not professional when it comes to C# programming in particular, but in the end, we ended up making a sort of first-person type of game where you just find items around the world map and such. Um, I currently what we have done, we basically have the environment already made. We already have the movement and such. We've already established the items in a basic GUI for it and everything. Uh, Currently, when it comes to future work, we're currently trying to fix the interaction system between the player and the item, because at the moment it's just a basic, if the player collides with the item that they're looking for, the item is found. But it'd be more better if, the player would press E to like collect the item or something like that. And then also the mechanic to the function to like basically test the player's memory, where the item, instead of being displayed on the bottom corner for the whole time, it would display for only a few seconds and disappear to test the player's memory as to what item they're looking for. That's pretty much at the moment for the project. Do you have any questions regarding it? Because I could probably explain a bit further in this case. It's okay. Yeah, I mean, overall, it was enjoyable of a project to do. I wish I had a video demo of it, but the problem is that I'm currently not on the laptop that has the whatchamacallit, the game for it. It's currently on my desktop at the moment. I would have been happy to just open up Unity and share the demo of the game. Currently, in the future, we're trying to basically finish up the first level, so that we can actually begin creating a UI for like the level selection screen in the main menu, so that we can already head to the second level where we focus on um trying to remember exactly what we were going to focus on in this case. I believe it was adding more challenges in the very second level where you find more hidden items and such to test the player's problem solving skills in this case. Aside from that, probably the other thing that would also need to be fixed is using better environments, because at the moment I'm just using the environments that Unity provides us like normally, but I'd prefer if I could just make my own, because sometimes like these environments look kind of odd in a way. But yeah. Oh, looks like someone else joined. Was this Samuel? Okay. Just to re-explain the whole project again. So the whole project basically, oh yeah, yeah, it's fine. Uh, but just to re-explain the whole project, basically we're trying to create a game that focuses on each of the different cognitive skills. At the current moment, for the very first level, we're focusing on attention skills and memory skills. Um, and later on, for the very next level, we're currently developing skills for logic and reasoning, and also potentially meditation, since there has been research that has been told that like meditation does improve focus and memory. Oh, there's more people here. Hello, everyone.
So, can you go over about what are the games are that improve cognitive skills?
Oh, so there's such thing as brain training games that usually improve this type of stuff. So, um, brain training games usually are done not just to improve cognitive skills, but for mainly for fun as well. So your usual stuff like Mahjong, Sudoku, crossword puzzles, word searches are usually those types of brain training games.
Okay, so what are the games associated with specific skills?
Ooh, that's a good question in that case. Because usually, for stuff like Sudoku and stuff like that, that usually mainly tests for stuff like logic and reasoning, because you're basically problem solving. With crossword puzzles, in a way, you would test for, say, attention skills, since you have to pay attention to the words
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
puzzle. Yeah.
Right. So have you done an experiment with the games or?
At the current moment, it's mainly just been developing the game, because we need the game first in order for it to test at that point. But
Yeah.
I do have a couple of different like uh, brain, I believe they're called, let me see, I have this list here full of ways to test this. Because I knew for a fact initially when we were talking about how we were going to test this, a survey definitely is one way to do it. However, it's kind of unreliable in a way, because it's still word for mouth and there's no actual
Yeah.
uh, yeah. And so we were going to use this test in particular known as the mini mental state exam to basically see if the game actually improved people's cognitive skills.
So are the games approved for all ages or it has to be like a
For this game in
age?
particular, the target audience is mainly meant for those who are currently developing cognitive skills. So it'd be something like toddlers who are barely just growing up, or people who have sort of illness towards these types of cognitive skills where they haven't developed it well enough. So in a way, yes, it could be anyone of any age.
Yeah, that's cool. All right, thank you. Thank you so much.
Mhm.
Have a good one.
You too.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, I'm enjoying the project. Uh, I think the main struggle at the moment is still trying to learn Unity, to be fair, because it's quite a long process. I think it took a while to just like truly understand how the collision system worked, to be fair. Do you guys have any questions in particular about the project? Oh, do you mean like related games and how they relate to cognitive skills, or like the current game that I'm working on at the moment? Because if you're talking about the current game I'm working on at the moment, um, how it relates is that we're for the for both. Okay, so say for example, crossword puzzles. They're considered brain training games, and they train, your cognitive skills, and usually it's attention to put attention towards what words you need to find. Um, well, that's a word search. Crossword puzzles, they're more for like memory because you would have to recall like certain definitions of words and such like that. Um, Sudoku is usually the same thing with like logic and reasoning in this case, usually memory as well. But for this game in particular, at the current moment, we're currently focusing on attention skills and memory because, of course, we would have to pay attention on the item on the left corner that we need to find. And then for memory, which we're currently still developing at the moment, we're going to have it so that the item displays for a few seconds, and then after that disappear so that the player would have to remember what item they're looking for. Yeah, basically like flipping cards. I'm not sure what that's called. I forgot. I guess in a way, it's like a pattern matching game, to be fair. Um, for that question, in terms of, it's not really like a sort of a I guess you could say it'd be difficulty. Basically, the levels would get progressingly more difficult as, they progress uh, each other level, basically. So for the current level, for the very first level, it's just going to be this. And then for the very next level is when we start testing their memory and such. And then for the very next level, we would say test problem solving, which at the moment, there's currently no development for that, since at the moment we're still working from memory. Yeah. Thank you for attending the presentation. Uh, good afternoon. Yeah, it's afternoon right now. Okay. Um, let's see. Okay, so for this project, the aim is to basically develop a game that focuses on each of the cognitive skills and how we can develop it. And so there's, I believe, 9 different types, but to simplify it, I'll just leave it at the most basic ones. We have attention skills, memory skills, logic and reasoning skills, visual and auditory processing, and then finally, processing speed. Um, and for the current moment, for the very first level, we're currently focusing on attention skills and memory skills. Um, and we decided to basically use the Unity engine to create a first-person game where the player will walk around and basically find items around the world, and in random order that they're given. Um, that is at the moment what we currently have, and we're trying to basically develop that further so that we can test the players, say, memory skills by having the item displayed on the bottom corner for a few seconds and then disappear as to challenge the player to remember what item they were looking for.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah. Do you have any questions in particular about the project?
Um, Not really. I'm just reading really quickly.
All right then.
This is really interesting. I know nothing about game development, but I like playing games a lot. So I just wanted to see like some of the inside of like how it would be made. So like how would you go not don't go to what is that called? Technical, but like is there a certain program you use or anything like that?
Um, so when we initially were thinking about the project, we were deciding, oh, like what game engine do we use? Or basically the sort of like program that uses to build the game. Um, and so initially we had 3 options, which was either using Unity, processing, or I think it was Gadots, I believe was the name of it. We opted to just use Unity because I kind of at least had some experience in it. Um, and so because the experience that I had with Unity was still kind of limited, that being just creating 3D environments with like the 3D version of Unity and not the 2D, we decided to basically opt to like use assets from the asset store, which are basically kind of like presets that are already like scripted and made by other people. Um, and we just created like a first person game off of it.
That's pretty cool. Thanks
Hmm.
for the explanation.
Yeah, I hope it was simple enough, to be fair.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Hello,
Oh, hello.
how you doing?
I'm doing good. Yeah.
So can you give me like a little breakdown of like what your research is about?
Oh, okay, okay. So basically, I was kind of playing just different types of like cognitive games and stuff like that, or more like brain training games and such. And like, I was kind of curious as to like how we like develop it and stuff, and how we actually test if it actually improves that type of stuff. And so I had to look over like different types of cognitive skills. Like there's attention, there's memory, there's logic reasoning, auditory, visual processing, and then the pace that we process things and such. But to make it a long story short, uh, the at the moment we basically designed and developed one level that focuses on attention training. And in the current future, we're currently working on memory training. It's a first-person game where you just there's an item displayed on the bottom left corner that you have to find, and you just walk around and find the item.
And have you had anybody like test the game out and like see if like you had some kind of correlation with your study and everything like that? Like have the
Um,
player go through it multiple times, see if the times change and them being able to find the item?
at the moment, that's still currently for future work because it's still in development at right now, I believe. Yeah.
Okay. And are you guys like actively seeking out people for like future um yeah, for like future research?
At the moment, no.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. Well, thank you for the little presentation.
Okay then. Hello.
Hi.
Let's see. Okay. Um, do you want me to go ahead and explain it, or do you need to read the poster first before I explain the
No, you can
project?
explain it.
Okay. It's just that I had a lot of people asking that part, but anyways, uh, basically the project is to develop a game that's to uh develop and also grow these types of cognitive skills, those being attention, memory, logic and reasoning, auditory processing, visual processing, and processing speed. Um, we utilize the Unity engine to basically create a first-person 3D game where the player will just walk around the environment and look for items that are shown in the bottom left corner of the UI. And this part, the very first level is just mainly focusing on attention to see if the player can pay attention to what item they're looking for. And that's the completed work at the moment. And in the future, we're currently on the development of the second level so that we can challenge the player's memory. So as for example, instead of having the item on the UI display permanently, it'll only display temporarily so that the player has to remember what items they're looking for.
Cool. How long did it take you to work on the first level?
On the first level, it took a while to be fair, because it's the thing is that like learning Unity was kind of a little bit difficult since I didn't have too much experience with C# scripting.
Mm-hmm.
The furthest I knew was just to make an environment and
Yeah.
get assets and stuff like that. But aside from that, I think the first level took around maybe 3 or 4 weeks roughly, since I was still learning the
Mhm.
hoops and stuff.
Okay. Um, so in regards to the assets, did you make any of them or did you just use like pre-made ones?
Mainly used some pre-made ones. For example, some of like the basic objects that you have to find, such as like a bucket or something like that, I just
Mhm.
borrowed from the asset store. The first person movement, I also borrowed from just standard assets, though to be fair, I might have to take a step back and create my own first person controller because it's a little bit limiting, to be fair. Um, Aside from that, yeah, that's pretty much all I used for when it came to standard assets.
Okay. Would you like ever consider making your own assets or you think it would just be, well, it might, I mean, obviously it would be easier to use pre-made ones, but
It would obviously be easier to use pre-made ones. That's the only reason why I use them for like the first few weeks of the project, to at least like have an idea of what the project's gonna look like.
mhm.
But yeah, I would rather much prefer to make my own assets,
Hmm.
which obviously will take some time to learn. Though it would be a lot easier to have more control over stuff that I actually made than, stuff that other people made.
Yeah. A while ago, well, actually back in February, I'm actually a little interested in game development, and I was following a Unity tutorial, and during that tutorial, I found out that you can make your own assets for the games. So then I stopped with the Unity tutorial and I got into how one would make 3D assets. So I found this 3D software called Blender. And I really enjoyed it, but it just takes so much time to just make one thing. Um, I think it took me like 3 days just to make like a cupcake and like animate it. It was fun, but it just took forever. So I understand why, you would use pre-made ones, but also using ones that you make yourself is pretty cool too.
Yeah. Um, I might take the consideration to maybe learn using Blender at some point. At the moment, right now, no, since I'm still like trying to establish like how the levels are going to be designed and such.
Okay. And I'm guessing you're interested in game development, or was just something that your faculty mentor proposed to you?
Um, I was, yeah, really interested in game development. It's just the problem is that like I was, when it came to like researching, like it's hard to find a focus that like for like research in particular that's actually beneficial for people in the world. Because like games are usually just made for fun normally,
Right.
but like it's kind of hard to find like the sort of like other functions that games have.
Okay. Yeah, this was really cool. Thank you for the presentation, and good luck on your second level.
Yep.
All right, bye-bye.
All right. Thank you.